Yeah, they see me on top and they get mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they even matter cause they can't stop me. Yeah, they see them trying to watch me and they trying to copy and it's looking sloppy. Yeah, we about to get it popping, talking non-stop. Can I get a copy? Yeah, you see me on top and they getting mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they... Make money, make money, make money, then you take money, take money, take money.
Hello and welcome back to KSB TV YouTube channel. I'm your host, BlaKc HEXican. If you were here with me yesterday, then you know that my new Trezor came in that I will be doing my crypto convos wallet on. I also mentioned to you guys that I went ahead and funded the wallet. I threw $200 of Ethereum over there. I figured that was like a good start. If I was a no coiner coming in, then I figured, $200, that seems reasonable, right? With like the idea of wanting to DCA maybe another $100 a week or something like that. So my wallet is already set up with my $200. I went ahead and spent about $30 to set my wallet up with a ENS name, with a .eth. It is cryptoconvos.eth. That way you guys can kind of follow along as I make decisions on what I'm going to do with my investment. So being that my wallet is funded, just so you guys know, so out of the $200, I spent about $30 on the ENS name. For somebody new coming in, I don't suggest that you guys go and do that. But for me, being that I like to be able to post it easy, share it, send, do things like that, I went ahead and spent that extra $30 on it. So now that I'm at the point of my journey where I'm like, hey, what am I going to buy? What is the investment strategy that I'm going to go with? I decided to invite 3 different guests on this week who I respect a lot of their strategies as far as how they look at investments. And the cool thing about it is that each one of these guests that I have this week have very, very different strategies, right? So today, I'm super excited that we have Randy Hilarski with us today. You guys know I have met a lot of Hexicans in real life, going on tour, content creators, just everything. And Randy is one of the few people that I have not had the chance to meet. So when I sent him the invite to come on the show and he said yes, I was stoked. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good one, because there are very few people that have eluded me. And knowing that he's in Panama and that's somewhere that I haven't been, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to catch up with Randy Hilarski in real life sometime real soon. So, hey, Randy, how are you doing?
It's going great. Happy to be here. Before we get started, though, you could have set up an Oryx wallet and got your .ens for free.
Really?
Yeah, they include it when you set up your wallet.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that. What is that called?
Oryx Wallet. It's I've been working with Oryx since 2017. They just launched their wallet in November. It's a DeFi wallet. It's got all kinds of safety features to protect us dummies from doing dumb things with our wallets. It's meant for Web3. So anytime you interact with the website, it gives you warnings if the website's not safe. You could run simulations before you actually do the real transaction to see if it's safe. It actually shows you all of your coins in your wallet without having to change RPCs. So it's a badass wallet. You're gonna be able to do swaps. You can do gasless swaps, all kinds of cool stuff within your wallet coming soon. And you get the .ens name for free.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I'm gonna save you $30.
Right, no, to save you $30 right away. I should have brought you on before. I'm talking to all different people. Nobody has given me this kind of alpha. So thanks for that. Maybe you can.
And they have a referral program. Right now, if you sign up for Oryx Wallet, it was supposed to end on February 1st, but they continued it because of some things that they've had delayed. But they have a referral program. 50% of the fees go to the users who refer people. So check it out. You can sign up. It's underneath any of my lives. I have the link to get the wallet. So it's pretty badass. Excuse me. And Richard says he's coming up with a wallet, and I'm like, man, I'm so far ahead of you, Richard. I'm out here shilling this. I know you're going to do fine when your wallet comes out. He had blocked me on Telegram, because I told him that the Oryx team wanted to work with him for the launch, the Pulse Chain launch, to have everything set up in the wallet before the launch happened. So the RPC will automatically be there. No one will have to look up any code or anything like that. And he blocked me. I'm like, bro, we've had private conversations in the past. First, you unfollow me on Twitter, and then you block my ass. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, Hexicans are getting blocked left and right.
Like, what's going on?
You gotta be careful. I mean, if you're not saying RH for life and that's it, then you're out.
I'm like, what's the hell? What else do I have to do to promote this?
Right? Absolutely. So, Randy, for the people that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about your crypto journey. Like, what brought you into this space all the way to the point of becoming a content creator?
Yeah, sure. I moved to Panama in 2011. I was lonely, bored, just gone through a divorce. You know, I sold my house in Rochester in 2014, and I bought Bitcoin. I moved to Panama because it was a new life for me. And I'm in sales. I was really good at sales, so you can move anywhere if you have a sales experience. It's just how it is. There's always people looking for people with sales experience. So I worked with this company and did sales for them, and at the same time I was learning about crypto because I was in gold and silver, and I was writing about gold and silver, and I couldn't get away from crypto. It kept popping up on my scene, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get into this. So it was after the peak when we hit $1,000 the first time. 2014 was like a couple years after that, and I said, you know what? Sell the house, buy as much Bitcoin as I could. And that's what I did. And it was at $450 at the time, $450, and proceeded to drop down to $200. So I got in during a bear market. So the first couple of years in crypto was all negative for me. And I didn't put any more money in after 2016. All my money that I have today comes from the early days where I just put money in up to 2016. And it has turned into quite a lot of money. And I'm very happy. And I've been skimming off nonstop for the last 5 or 6 years to pay for things, pay for trips, taking something that maybe it's not performing that well, putting it into Hex, and just keep flipping that crypto. And maybe one does a 50x, another one does a 100x, then another one does a 10,000x. It's just crazy. The experience is just, other people who know me, they're like, Randy, how did you do this? Patience. Patience. And then I became a content creator in 2016 full time when Steemit came out. I don't know if you remember Steemit, the Steem blockchain. It was made by Dan Larimer. Dan Larimer is one of the guys that used to talk to Satoshi Nakamoto back in the day. And Dan and I were already friends, and he launched this project, and it was a social media project where you could write blogs and post pictures and stuff and make money doing it. And my first post made $5,200. Wow. I'll never forget that. I got voted up by Dan and by the other founders, and it was $5,200. And the next day I cashed out like 6 Bitcoin. And it was quite a day. So they got me the hook, right? And a week later or so, they put out a post saying they were looking for someone to manage the social media for their company. And I wrote them a curse-laced email. I said, guys, you have no idea what you're doing with social media. All I do is social. I manage social for companies. I said, I want to do it for Steemit. And they hired us on the spot, and we worked with them for the next year, went to all their conferences and all that kind of stuff, and we're blogging. And that's how we built up our big war chest of crypto, because we were earning anywhere from $100 to $500 a day just writing blog posts. And then we were also paid by the Steem team. And so just grew. And it was just an amazing experience. There's so many people don't even know that Steem existed. But imagine having something like WordPress or Medium. It was more like Medium, where you get to write, put pictures, and people just like it. When they like your stuff, they vote for you. Maybe you get $10, $20. You know who Blockchain Chick is?
No.
Heidi Chakos. She's big on Twitter.
Okay.
That's if you don't know who she is, but her and I, that's how we met. And I knew her back when she was just a backpacker. She had nothing, and she was just writing on Steemit, making a killing. She's making more money than me. Obviously, she's a lady. Ladies always do better than guys and that kind of thing. My wife was out earning me real quick. But yeah, that was good times. And I learned so much. And then companies saw what I was doing, crypto companies, and they asked me to write blog posts for them. And they would pay me a couple $1,000s just to write a blog post for them on Steemit.
Wow.
2016 and 2017 were fabulous years for us to get going. It's nothing near what we did with Hex, but still,
Right.
to get my feet wet and to see that kind of money for just being a semi-influencer, I said, this is the way to go. And they used to call me Hilarski. Instead of Hilarski, it was Shilarski, because I didn't care what it was. If they were paying me, I didn't know what I was doing back then, right? It was just, they're paying me, and I think the market's going to go up forever. I didn't know anything about bad bear markets, and about, I'd say, 3/4 of the projects that I talked about back in those years are all gone now. They all went to zero or something like that. That's just how things go in crypto. But a couple of them are still around and still kicking. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I found it.
So just being in the space, is that kind of how you ran into Richard Hart in the Hex ecosystem?
Actually, I knew Richard years ago because I was friends with Tone Bays.
Okay.
And him and Tone used to do live streams together. But I never really liked Richard. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he's a little know-it-all. Because I knew Tone, and back then I was still trading, so I respected Tone a little bit more, except for the dot part that annoyed the hell out of me. So Tone and I used to hang out at events when we go to the crypto events, but I never met Richard in person.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day I'm just sitting on my computer. I think it was October 2019. The YouTube algorithm gave me the video for Richard, the one where he was talking about Bitcoin Hex.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is unbelievable. This sounds exactly like what we need. This is like why I got into Bitcoin to begin with. Something that could pay me every day for locking up my coins. Mm-hmm. This is freaking genius. And I told everybody I could get my hands on, like, hey, yo, you gotta check this out. Nobody put their money in it. Nobody except for me. And I was so disturbed by them. Like, what am I seeing that you're not seeing? Mm-hmm. So Hex launched, and I wrote my first article on Crypto Daily, which is a Google News website, and I had my referral link in there, and I got quite a bit of Hex just because people were using my referral link. That was nice, and I ended up writing 4 articles for Crypto Daily about Hex over the course of the next 10 months, and then they fired me because I was talking about Hex. They just kicked me to the curb. They weren't paying me; it was all free, right? Yeah. But still, I couldn't write on their site anymore. All because I was talking about Hex. They considered it a scam. But my articles are still up there. They never took the articles down. They're still there. The proof is there.
Yeah. That's so interesting that so many people had this narrative of scam and just wouldn't touch it. Right? It was just like, yeah. Still. You think yeah, even today. I mean, you're seeing a lot more, though, of these major, what you would consider major influencers, upwards of 50, 100,000 in their following, now starting to talk about Hex more, probably because they feel like the launch of Pulse Chain is imminent. So they're like, hedging their bets to where like, oh no, I know about that. I know about this. But yeah, you're seeing a lot more of the big influencers talk about it now. What do you think that's about?
They're trying to patch the wounds. They're trying to make it, the past is easy to cover up. You could talk smack about something for a long time. And just like you didn't know anything about Steam. A lot of stuff happened in the Steam ecosystem. A lot that helped build crypto to where it is today. But people don't know about it. So that whole chapter of the crypto history is kind of lost because there's so few people that followed because Dan Larimer left Steam and went and launched EOS. Right? He put all his energy into EOS and left the Steam thing behind. And when that happened, he took a bunch of people with him. And people just forgot about what was happening on Steam. So I just think that because we're so segmented in the crypto ecosystem, that these folks who called Hex a scam in the past, maybe 80% of their users or followers in the next year or two are going to be new people. And they're never going to have any idea that these people were talking smack in 2019.
Right.
It's up to us to remind them. but why remind? I mean, I like number go up. I'd rather not fight with people. I just accept the fact that. But back deep down, if I meet them in person, I'm like, you motherfucker. I know what you did. Like the guys. What are the guys? The brothers that have that Altcoin Daily. Altcoin Daily. I'll never forget them. Never.
Yeah.
CZ. I'll never forget CZ. No.
Yeah.
You caused me headaches. Andreas Antonopoulos. I'll never forgive Andreas, and I know him personally because he called me a scammer on Twitter, and within a week or two, I lost 2,000 followers.
Wow.
Because he publicly called me a scammer because I was associated with Hex. Yeah. I got depressed for a while. I had a hard time until I found Hexo and started hanging out with everybody on our nightly streams.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think that separates Hex from the rest is the community. Is that you always have someone that you can go to, whether that's for education information or support, right? The longer I've been in this community, the more and more it feels, like a family.
Yeah. I picked up, just this month, I picked up 3 Hexicans from the airport. Just like, hey, Randy, you're flying into Panama. I'm like, yeah, I'll come pick you up. And they're like, dude, this is awesome. Like, that's what it's like. Because the same situations happen to us every time we travel to Europe. People are like, oh, Randy, we're going to put on a get together. Well, let's have dinner and we'll invite a bunch of people or, that type of thing. What an experience. I mean, we're in the UK. We had 4 get-togethers in a 4-week period. What? Each week in a different city, whether it was in Edinburgh or Glasgow, Scotland, or London, we were doing something. What other community does that? None.
I don't know any. I mean, I don't know anybody that's like wrapped cars and traveled the U.S. putting on free workshops or than half the stuff that the Hexicans have done. But that's what sets us apart. But I have to ask. Because I know that you're no maxi, right? You've been in the crypto space for a long time, so you kind of keep your ear to the ground in all different, segments. What do you look for when you're evaluating a new crypto? Like, what's the process of saying, I'm going to dive deeper into this, or I'm going to probably stay away from this?
First, I look at team. I want to look at the history of the team and see who they've worked with in the past, see if they've ever been part of a rug pull, and get to know, I want to know their ethics, right? See if they've stuck around. And like the reason why I liked Dan Larimer in the beginning is because he was an anarchist like myself, but when he left Steemit, I felt really disappointed because he pumped us all up and then he bounced and went and launched EOS. And then he bounced and left EOS too. I mean, it's repeated. His actions keep happening the same way. So I want to know the team and the founders. And the other one I look at is maybe I don't care about the website. You look at the website, I don't give a crap. Look at curve.finance. That website looks like it came from 1998, but it works perfect. And the smart contracts work perfect. It's more about if the technology works, and there's a lot of people who are smarter than me, like Tanto from Maximus DAO and stuff like that. When Tanto looks at stuff, I'd rather him look at it and say, okay, it's good to go, than me rely on my own knowledge. So it's all about the technology and see if as long as it works and if there's commitments to liquidity and those kind of things. But the price shouldn't matter as much as people think it does, because we want stuff that works. I spoke to Stu from Tetra this morning, and what he's building is phenomenal. It's automating everything we need to do on DeFi. You can automate all your hex stakes. All you type it, okay, this stake comes out in this day, take the money out, take 10%, put it to stables, restake the rest, for another 10 years, and you just keep automating that. And that's genius. I love it.
That could really be a game changer for a project like Zen. I had mentioned I was in a space the other day with some Zen guys, and I was like, one of the biggest issues that I have is the extremely short claim period that you have. You have like 7 days if you don't, get it done.
It was 2.
Well, so like every day it takes some away. So essentially, if you don't do it on that first day, you're gonna lose something. But by the 7th day, it's completely like out, like it's down to nothing. And, life happens. It's hard to, on the exact day, be there. And I said, I don't care if I set calendar alarms, whatever, I'm still going to miss a few.
But that's what I did. That's the only option I had was to set the calendar alarms.
Hmm.
And then I don't know if you did what I did, but did you put your Zen portfolio into the website?
No, if I'm being
Well,
frankly
I
honest.
tried. I tried that too, but then I cleared my cookies. When I cleared my cookies, because you do that every once in a while, it
Uh-huh.
got rid of everything. I was
It
like,
did.
ooh, 85 wallets.
That's
I
what my
was
husband
like,
told me. He had done it and then it went away, and I was like, "Well, I'm not about to spend any time doing that."
yeah,
No,
so
but
frustrating.
I hear that there are some people had sent me some links of some new websites and stuff coming out to help you track it better. But no, I need it automated. I need it to like get it done for me.
Yeah, and that's what Tetra's going to do for you because it's not just Hex; it's everything.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
on Pulse Chain. They're launching on Ethereum, so it'll be everything on Ethereum as well.
perfect. So what
Yeah.
else are you piquing your interest right now? What else have you been looking into as we get ready for post chaining?
Well, I'm really excited about Famous.
Um,
I'm very vocal about Famous because one of the best performing cryptos during the bear market was GMX, and Famous is a copy of GMX. So I love the fact that we'll be able to lend to these degenerate gamblers that want to short things and long things with leverage and earn something. So being a lender is probably the best position you can be in because your APYs can be pretty fat, and you can just sit back and let them pay you for borrowing your money over and over and over again. So I'm all about Famous. I think of all the coins on the ecosystem that's going to perform the best in the bear and a bull, it's going to be leverage trading. So I'm looking at that one. That's one of my favorites.
Okay. Are you looking at any of the stablecoin projects like what Liquid Loans is doing or Power City?
Yeah, I've sacrificed for all of them. Um, I think I have
It's
a
like Pokemon,
very
right?
large. What's that?
I said it's like Pokemon, right? Got to catch them all.
Gotta catch them all because you don't know which one's going to perform well. So I put the
Right.
same amount of money into everything, and
Okay.
we'll see which one performs the best. So I think that Liquid Loans came out first, and because it's a Pulse chain only coin, that'll have its own ecosystem, and I'll be able to use Tetra to automate it because you don't even need what Power City's building right now. I don't even think it's needed.
Mm.
Um, they're trying to do things like Tetra's doing as well, but they don't even really need to because Tetra has it handled. Just go build really epic shit like they're doing with the staking of PLSX and having their own stablecoin. I think that's amazing. So I have a very large bag of PLSX. So I think that's going to be the best performer out of all three. I really am looking forward to what PulseX is going to do. So I would rather just borrow against my coins, and if you're only doing 10% of your bag, that means the price could drop 90, and you're still there. And on the way to 90, you could see it dropping, and you could add more crypto to it. I'm not saying everyone's in a position to be able to do something like this, but I've got plenty of crypto elsewhere. If I had to, I could protect my bag by just bringing over more, or take a small hit or something. But taking that 10% and just keep reworking it, buying more PulseX, putting it back on top, taking another 10%, just keep doing that. Boom, boom, boom. The haunted strategy, or whatever they want to call it. It's genius. I mean, for Americans especially, because of the taxes that we have to pay on a sale, like a capital gains tax. Well, if you're borrowing, talk to your tax accountants, but if you're just borrowing, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. No different if you're borrowing money on a property that you own.
Right. We have someone
Yeah,
in the chat here saying only risk 20 to 30% of your stat.
yeah.
Uh,
At 10%. So
mhm.
you could you could handle if the price drops 90%. Because there's sometimes you just know it. You just know it's going to happen where somebody's going to fat finger a big stack and they're going to drop the price 90% on a wicked candle, and the automation's just going to fulfill that order, and you're going to lose. So yeah, sometimes it's going to happen. Maybe once a year, once every 2 years. Who knows? It's just that someone's going to get wrecked just by a fat candle. As somebody who used to trade on BitMEX, I know it happens. I lost
Yeah.
7 Bitcoin in one day. I know what it feels like. But, yeah, and that was only 2 months before we hit the all-time high in 2017.
Oh my
So
gosh. Most people
Yeah.
will never know what it's like to have one whole Bitcoin, and this man lost 7 in one day.
7 in one day. I had 13. I had 13 in my wallet, and I went home like with one leg. It was a terrible experience. I was so depressed.
Traders
I
get
was like,
wrecked.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that that's a perfect segue into my.
That's hysterical.
It is time for truth or dare. So, guys, if you guys, this is the first time that I'm doing this with Randy on stream. It's this new segment that I've created called Truth or Dare. Whatever the wheel lands on, then Randy will get either a truth or a dare. If he opts out, if he decides, no, 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 too much pressure, I cannot do it, then he will have to send $50 of the crypto of his choice to someone that is in our chat right now. And I will tell you what you have to post if he opts out for you to be the winner of that. So you ready to spin this wheel, Randy?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I'm always a guinea pig.
Yes, to be fun.
All right,
Ooh,
we
truth.
got truth. Go for it. I'm not opting out. That's too easy.
Truth is too easy. Only the
No,
dare.
no, 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 no. I'm saying I'm not opting out. I'm going for it.
All right, let's see what your truth question is. Here we go. Who was the last person you searched for on Twitter?
I can tell you, right? It should be able
Interesting.
to. Actually, it was you. It was you. because I just looked it up to see what your Twitter handle was, so I could mention you when I shared the video before we started.
Oh, that
It was
wasn't
you.
juicy at all.
Yeah, I know. But before that, it would have been Access Alive because
Mm.
he wanted because we're streaming today at 8 I think 6:30 p.m. Yeah, before that was Access Alive. So I got an easy one.
You got a real easy one. I can't wait for those dares to start rolling out so we can send some 50s to the audience. But that was great. I like how that worked out. So my
Sure.
follow-up question is really my show is about being a resource to no coiners, right? To new people coming in, not really understanding, what I should be looking at, how I should be DCAing. So I'm saying, hey, I'll do the journey with you, right? So you have a no coiner that's coming into the system. Their first buy-in is $200, and then they're looking to DCA about $100 a week. What's the first buy? What are you telling them to do?
Well, the first thing is security.
Mm-hmm.
So I do recommend. I'm going to say it again: Oryx Wallet because it's all that too. Hardware wallets because it gives you the option of running a simulation before you do any trade or sending money anywhere. You run the simulation; it tells you if you're messing up, those kind of things. So Oryx Wallet plus a hardware, including Trezor, Ledger, whatever else. I've heard about Grid Lattice. Grid Lattice is pretty popular too, as a high security one if you want to take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I recommend. Safety first, and then it's just like it's just like sex, right? Safety first. That's the first thing you need to take care of. Then you go out and buy, and first thing you need is Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mess with anything until you had a substantial stack of Ethereum, maybe quarter of Ethereum or half of Ethereum. Do what you gotta do to get to that point, and then DCAing into other cryptos like Hex. Don't trade. That's the death nail for most people. They come in, they trade, they get wrecked, they quit crypto, and they miss out on the big gains. It's really sad to see because they missed out on so much money. My best friend, Mike, he's a teacher up in Rochester, New York. He messaged me in 2021, like January. He's like, Randy, I've got a couple grand I want to put into something. Can you help me? I said, sure. So I bought him some Hex off the market and he put it into his wallet and we got it at 0.8 of a penny. And then by the end of September, we were at 56 cents. And he's like, I've never seen money like this before in my life. You know, it's like he turned a couple grand into a substantial amount of money. And he's like, whoa, this is amazing. But he staked out for 10 years. So I made him stake it. So then he saw the retrace, and now he's seeing it go back up again. So he's riding the emotions. That's why I like Hex. It forces you to stay in the game.
Yeah.
So I tell everyone their first big thing outside of Ethereum has to be Hex. When Pulse Chain launches, straight to Hex.
Right. So I got a couple of questions about that. You said to stack up, at least a half of Ethereum or whatnot, right? But if your mindset is that you want to be in the Pulse Chain ecosystem when it launches, that copy of Ethereum is not going to do much for you.
No. But I'm talking crypto in general. Pulse Chain doesn't exist yet.
Right.
So it's like talking about a ghost. once Pulse Chain's announced, yeah, go for it. Just have your Hex so you get that copy. Or I don't teach people to get the copy. I teach people to take their profits before the copy happens, then bridge over your profits. That's what I'm telling everyone. And I know Richard will reach through the screen and slap my ass for saying it, but look, you get a 10x, and say that you put 5 grand in and it goes up to 50 grand. You can take those coins when the bridge happens and bring them over and buy whatever you want on sale. So I think that's a much safer play than trying to rely on the copies, which in the first 48 hours, as you know, everyone and their brother is trying to fit through this tiny door of a Hex copy to sell for Pulse Chain. It's going to cause major slippage. And what happens if 500 people all at the same time are saying, sell, 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 sell? You're going to get like 80, 90% slippage. The coin's going to wick down a super amount, and people are going to get less and less Pulse Chain because they don't understand that they can't, that they have to make it so their slippage isn't high. You can set it to a 0.1% slippage, but they're going to, real quick, they're like, oh, my transaction didn't go through. Oh, let me increase the slippage to 5%. Ouch, that hurts. And that doesn't go through. Let me increase it to 10%, and then no limit. Someone's going to put no limit, and whack. So be real careful out there, folks, with the copy to try to get Pulse Chain. If you're going to do it for the copy, keep it in PHEX. Don't look at the price for the first few days because it's going to come back up. Just be calm, be patient. It's going to do well. It's just that the first 48 hours, it's all about the ratio trades. And people are going to be moving money back and forth. It's just the same money sloshing around. People are going to try to out ratio each other. And it's going to be an opportunity for people to get absolutely wrecked and some to get absolutely rich. But I would prefer to keep what I have. Don't play that game.
So if someone has, just on your recommendation, built up a nice little ETH bag, and now are looking to, get into the actual ERC20, some crypto, and they buy Hex, are you telling them to stake Hex, even though the fees on Ethereum are so high? Just hold liquid Hex?
No, either liquid Hex or Maxi.
Okay, so
Maxi,
then I was
gonna perpetuals.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that as a follow up because yesterday I spoke with Avid and KSB Lion. Avid said, buy Hex. And then KSB Lion said, I would actually prefer to buy either Deci or Maxi because then you have some exposure to staking, but still in liquid form.
Yes.
So it sounds like you would agree.
I think Maxi's going to, anybody who doesn't have the patience of the staking or who doesn't trust the staking or is worried about the cost of unstakes, just buy Maxi. But people that have patience, if you're not a patient type, and you just got that trigger finger where you need to sell all the time, don't buy Maxi. Buy Hex and stake it.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the other coins in the Hex ecosystem? I mean, we got Hedron, Icosa, Communis, lots of different things that have all kind of spiraled out of Hex.
Yeah, well, Hedron's my money printer, and I use Hedron to buy everything. So when I go play a casino at night on bets.io, I take money off of Hedron because it's like free money. It doesn't cost me anything. I had a huge win. I've had some multiple huge wins in the last 3 months, but every single one of them was just Hedron. Just turn it into Ethereum and send it to the casino. And then what I do is if I want a specific coin, I will let my Hedron accrue for a couple weeks, and then I sell it and I buy the other coin. Communis was a perfect example. I sold that immediately, and I used that to sacrifice for Famous. So my Famous, look at it, my airdrop was enough to sacrifice for Famous.
Yeah.
How crazy is this shit?
Yeah.
I mean, it's free money out of thin air. And all of you who were part of the Pulse Chain sacrifice, the Pulse X sacrifice, and you have Hex Stakes, over this next year, once Pulse Chain launches, I think we're going to have between a $50,000 and $70,000 worth of airdrops coming to us. It's going to be a large amount of money. And you could turn those airdrops and roll them into something that you care about. Or keep them in the airdrops, which I usually don't recommend. Sometimes it works out, like the PLSB people, or the PLS
D.
PLSD, is that what it was? Yeah, the fake Pulse Doge. Yeah, if you guys would have held that one, you'd done well, right? I like PLSD myself, the original. the one with the cartoon dogs. I love that
Memes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're on Ethereum now as well. I know when Pulse Doge came out, the second Pulse Doge, it was they were just on Binance, but now it's also on Ethereum.
Yeah.
I
burned all my coins and put them on Ethereum. They're doing fine. The price isn't doing great, but that's because, like everybody, we're waiting for Pulse Chain.
Right.
The whole idea for the original Pulse Doge was to have a meme coin on Pulse Chain. And well, a year and a half later, we still don't have Pulse Chain. So I call it a ghost chain. It's nothing until it exists.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's why I decided to stop, worrying about Pulse Chain. We were building a whole tour around the idea of going to teach people Pulse Chain. Meanwhile, we're failing to bring people in at the bottom, right? Like we should have just continued to focus on Hex the entire time, because the more people that buy at the bottom, the more people, that have substantial upside, instead of people that are upset at you. Yeah. Because at this point, I mean, the amount of family members that I tried to get in, like before Big Payday, right? None of them listened. They watched me, with the excitement of Hex going from less than a penny all the way up to 50 cents. So somewhere around 20 cents or around Pulse Chain sacrifice time, they're like, oh, okay, let me, dibble and dabble, get a little some in there. And now holidays are awkward because they're like, where's that Pulse Chain you sold me 2 years ago? Hey, I didn't sell you anything.
You guys came in late.
Hex, but you came in late. But yeah, that's the common story that we see all the time. My family.
Trevor says getting noobs to buy the bottom is impossible. That is absolutely right. Yeah, they just don't get it.
Yeah, no, it has to. If there's not green candles, they're just not interested. And we all know that red candles follow green ones. Like,
it's basic crypto. It's like crypto 101, and people just don't understand. I'm a master at selling. I know how to sell. I have no emotions attached to my crypto. Maybe a little bit more now because we've been involved with the community for so long. But prior to Hex, I didn't care. If I wanted to sell something, I just sold it. And I think that's just, most people are like that. They don't know how to sell, and they also don't know when to buy. They're like scared to pull the trigger, especially in a bear market, because they think the price is going to keep going down. And there's going to come a day where it's going to stop going down.
Yeah.
The Oryx indicator for Hex, that's the platform that I use. I don't use TradingView. I use Oryx. The indicator went green on November 1st. It's been green for 4 months. 4 months. It went green at 2 cents. So you've done 200x or 200%. That's a great 4 months. It's over 400% now, because now we're like 6.4 cents, something like that. So 240%. That's wonderful.
I got a request in the chat for a link to the Oryx wallet. I know you mentioned that they're in all of your videos. So if you guys want to go.
I can put it.
But
Oh, I can't.
get it.
Actually, I can't.
Okay.
I'm not
So
a.
then
I have
I'll
to be
try
a.
to
I'd
get
have to be an
that.
admin.
Well, you can put it in the private chat, and then I
Oh,
can,
okay. Okay, I'll
yeah,
do that.
you have
Let
it.
me get it for you. Let
So,
me get
and
it for
then
you.
just to answer this question, do you get a one pulse for one ETH? Yes. And that is
Yes.
kind of why I asked the question, if you are at all thinking towards pulse chain, wanting some value out of your copy, how much ETH do you really want to hold going into that? Um, but yeah, definitely
Okay, I
looking
got it.
at some other things if you're thinking about pulse chain.
Here you go.
All right, I'm gonna get this
There you
link
go.
out to you guys. Just one sec.
Just know that over the 50% referral program will go away. They haven't made the announcement when that's going to happen yet. Well, I'm thinking probably by June or so it'll go away. After that, it's going to drop to 25%. So for the life of your wallet, anybody who signs up using referral link, you're going to make up to 50%. That's crazy because imagine you get a couple thousand people signed up.
Yeah,
My course. I have a course coming in April, and everybody in my course is going to be required to use the Oryx wallet because I'm not charging a lot of money for the course. So I'd rather them use tools that I think are good, and that's how one of the ways we're going to get people to use it.
Yeah, let's talk about your course a little bit. That is the title of today's stream, No Permissions. Where did that name come from, and what do you aim to accomplish through your course?
The name came from me thinking about what am I going to call my community, because I have a newsletter. It's No Permissions, and then we have the Patreon, No Permissions, and that's look, we just hit 101 patrons.
Wow, that's amazing.
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
It's only been
unbelievable.
running
4 weeks, we hit 101 people at $20 a pop.
Wow.
That is crazy. I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be maybe 30, 40 people, but we're at 101 as of just like an hour ago. So, so the goal is education. My mom said to me one day, she says, Randy, she goes, sometimes I feel lost. My mom's 72. She goes, sometimes I feel lost. She goes, I don't understand how to do all these things you're talking about or what other people talk about. She goes, I'm lucky because all I have to do is message you. But other people don't have this opportunity. So she said, is there a way you could build a course where there's downloadable PDFs, like book form, where people can just flip through the pages and read it, how to do each thing? I was like, oh, light goes off in my head. I'm like, no one's ever done that. Yeah. Everyone just does short videos or they walk you through it using a video. And even I get annoyed because I'm almost 50 years old. I'm old school. I'm used to looking at stuff, reading it. And I'm like, wow, this makes so much sense. So I partnered with Ben Dubard. I don't know if you know who Ben is. He has a course. He teaches crypto every day to people. He does one-on-ones. He charges to do the one-on-ones. And he told me, he goes, Randy, I built this course. It took me 3 months to build it. No one's buying it. He goes, it's perfect. It's exactly what you're looking for. Is there any way I can work with you on this? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let me look through it. I'm like, this is great. It just needs to be reworked to make it a little easier to understand and with the graphics and stuff. So I said, yes, let's use your course. And then my other partner, Christian Grace, he's over in Barcelona. He's moving back to Panama with his family, and we're waiting for him to get back here so we could work on launching the course. And he's also a great educator. He used to work for the United Nations. He's originally from Uganda. He's just like this real personable guy that, one of those people that walks in the room, just lights up the room with their personality. That's how Christian is. And the three of us together, we're just going to get this thing going. And our wives are involved. Christian's wife's a lawyer, a Spanish lawyer. My wife's a graphic designer. So we just got this really good team of people to launch a course with. And I was part of Dollar Cost Crypto's course back in the day. I was in his the first two that he had. I was one of the guests on his course. And I remember how they did it and using Zoom, because in Zoom you could have 5,000 participants at one time. It's crazy. Yeah. And I said, I've never expected my course to have 5,000 people, but I imagine we'll have 100, maybe 120 people the first course. And I said, I can do this. And DCC told me a long time ago, he's like, Randy, why aren't you doing this? You're the one person that was in the Hex community that should be doing this. He goes, it said I did it before you. And he goes, look at me. Now I'm teaching NBA players and NFL players how to do crypto and stuff like that. He goes, you need to be doing this. So between my mom and DCC and a couple other people, we just decided to do a course just for people over 40. And that's our focus, because DCC's got it locked down for the younger crowd. The younger crowd, it's a different way of teaching. My teaching is going to be more methodical, more, like the old school style teaching. For young kids that have ADD, they'll be like, oh no, man, this is too boring. We're really gonna have to hold people's hands, and a lot of people don't have patience for that.
Right.
So
that's
where we're going.
Have talked about that time and time again. It's something that they want to do for their German community. Have something that's regular. And I know for me, every person that I have got in crypto almost expects me to run their portfolio, right? Like to the point to where I'm holding their hand so much that it's like, if I don't claim their stake for them, then it's just going to bleed out, like that kind of thing. And I need it to progress beyond that. I need my family. I need the people that I care about the most to progress to a point to where they understand self-custody completely and are willing to do it themselves.
Yes.
So I feel like
I'm
in that direction where I want to have some type of Zoom where it can just be an open format. Like you can come and answer your questions, good Q&A, and then a lot of backup resources. But it's so needed in our space. We don't realize, I don't think, because we spend so much time in crypto, how early we still are, that the average person, can't name a crypto outside of Bitcoin. And if they do, they say something like the doggy coin, so then you like really know that they don't know.
I tell you, there's one guy in our Hex called Squatchy, and I had a call with him this morning, because everyone that comes into my Patreon gets a 30-minute call with me. So he told me he's been in crypto for 1 year, and he's like, Randy, he goes, I can't tell you how overwhelming it is. Sometimes you guys say stuff, the streamers, we say stuff live, and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He goes, that is just total nonsense to me. I'm like, wow, that is so true, because when I got into crypto in 2014, it was really only Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So I learned from the bottom, and then it's like a video game. You level up. Something new. Ethereum came out, so I had to learn Ethereum, and then Steam came out. I had to learn that. Different blockchains, different technologies, and then we had Hex, and Hex was a whole year learning experience by itself. People think Hex is simple. It's not simple. Mel Tony, welcome.
Yes.
Hex is a difficult crypto.
Hex price updates.
Yeah, and all the live streams he shows up.
It's so wonderful, because like, how often do you really? I think about the Hex price all the time. So at some point, I'm gonna like slide over to my deck screener just to see, what's going on anyway. So
they're in the whole bull market or bear market. I look at my staker app maybe once every 2 weeks, right? Yeah. Because I didn't want the depressed feeling.
Oh yeah,
right.
I actually removed my staker app because I don't want to see like. You always have that number of what you had, right? So I don't want to see that keep going down. But I'm always looking, especially being a small bag holder, I'm always looking for like an opportunity to buy, a fast wick down. I set a few limit orders, but there's nothing like, seeing it live and like going in there like, right now, give me some. Yes, I made a great buy.
No. Yeah. It felt good over the last couple months. If anybody bought below 3 cents, they look like geniuses now.
Oh yeah, no, I remember like bragging to my husband right after big payday. The price of Hex went down to 2 zeros and a 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had just got paid. Like I want to say something else that came in. And I was like, oh no, my birthday had passed. So like I got some like good birthday gifts from family and stuff. And I threw all of it on that Hex at that 003. And like, yeah, to the point to where like my husband's stack was up here and I was down here. And then all of a sudden I was like climbing. Yeah, it's
remember
competition over here.
Were you on the stream with me when or all of us were there when Hexologist, when that big payday happened? And then he bought the dip right on live. It was crazy. he got the exact bottom. I was like, oh my God, you're such good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's you're always up on that buy, right? When you can get one of those wicks, like it always feels like you're winning. Even throughout all the bear, I never once felt like I was down,
We
like
weren't because we weren't.
because we were. Yeah.
and then he drawn every day. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Man, that's what I'm saying. This is like the ecosystem that just keeps giving because every time you think, oh man, like there's no real movement going on, then something like Com token comes out and now you got
PLSD.
right. So yeah. That's
Yeah, I mean thousands of dollars. And then in 2019, it was we had, I think it was early 2020. We had the Uniswap airdrop, and then we had the 1-inch airdrop. I mean, it was just like, it was crazy. So I didn't have to spend anything for my Hex. I just kept getting these airdrops and using that, and buy more Hex and stake it. Or when I got the 1-inch airdrop, because I had 3 wallets that qualified, so it ended up being like $7,000. So my wife was still asleep, and I woke her up. I said, "Hey, you want to go shopping today?" She goes, "Why?" I said, "Well, you got $7,000 that we can use. I mean, if you want." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, we got an airdrop." She's like, "How the hell?" She goes, "The crypto's amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
I'm looking forward to those shopping days. I haven't quite got there. We're still building. But I do believe that crypto is the way to true financial freedom.
Let's start the countdown because we're not too far off.
Yeah.
Yesterday at lunch, it was Mike Wills, my friend Arrow from Netherlands, and his family, and we were all sitting around, and we got talking about crypto. And he's a genius when it comes to timing the markets. He does a really good job. And I told him that a couple months ago that the Oryx indicator went green. It went green November 1st, the same time as Hex, and Ethereum. They all went green. All 3 went green. But then a week later, that whole FTX thing happened, and it wrecked Bitcoin and it wrecked Ethereum. The Oryx indicators went away, and they didn't show up again until December 1st. But Hex stayed green. So we were talking about this because my friend Errol thinks that the bear market is behind us. I disagree with him. I think that there's other things that still could happen. If there's war with Russia or war with China, then that's all the bets are off. Then we could have a nasty experience like we had in early 2020 during the lockout. Remember the lockdowns happened. Crypto just dropped off the roof.
Pandemic dip. Yeah.
And then they rebound like crazy. So I think something like that could happen again. But as long as you hold, you're going to be fine. I'm one of these guys. I'm still kind of bearish. I think that we could still go down. But my friend Arrow, he's 100% convinced that we're out of the bear market. And he has a better track record than me when he says we're out of the bear, right? He's been right every time, whereas me, I'm 50-50. I was totally right when Hex launched in 2019. I said this was the bottom of the bear. We're going up now because all my other cryptos were going up, even though Hex is going down all the way to February. It was rough, I hated seeing that. But then the God will came in and pushed the price up. But before that, I was like, man, we're coming out of the bull, we're coming out of the bear, and it worked out perfect timing for me. I sold everything and went into Hex. I think we're in that same situation right now. Now is consolidation time, because people always ask me when is the next bull going to start. It's already here, guys. We might have another dip, but we're here. And the election in the U.S. is in 2024. A lot of money is going to be infused into the economy, to the markets in 2024. And then you have Bitcoin halving in March 2024. So a lot of stuff's getting ready to move crypto. And be careful, folks. If you're not in right now, you're going to get left behind. It's better to take a dip than to be wrong. I'll take a dip.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can speak. My brother probably doesn't want me to tell all his business like this on stream, but he's not here to stop me. So he asked me, I went over to his house. I did like a full one-on-one with him, like, hey, bro, this is your wallet. This is how everything works. And he goes, do you really think we're at the bottom, or you think it's going to go, a little lower? He's like, because I got some extra cash right now that I really, kind of want to put in. And I'm like, hey, I can't tell you whether or not we're at the bottom, but I can tell you that this is a good buy, right? It's
for 80% off.
Right? It's under your initial buy-in. He first got in the Hex around 5-6 cents. I said, so you're already going to increase your position, because you're buying lower than your start. And he's like, yeah, okay. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching. And then him and the rest of my family, they go on this cruise, right? And like literally the day that they leave to go on the cruise, Hex just starts green candle every day, every day, every day. And I'm like, bro, we were there. We were sitting right there. I'm telling you, this is a good buy. And now you're looking at it at 6 cents. Like, is it going to go back down to 4? Can I get 3? And I'm like, but you had 2, so you can't hesitate when it comes to that. You can't keep speculating. That's why DCA is key, right? If it goes lower, then just reserve a little, buy some more.
And DCA is super powerful, especially when it moves down to the downside. It's kind of painful when you do it on the upside. Yeah. It keeps going up and you're DCAing in because you're like, ouch, ouch, that hurts. But now when it's on the downside, because you just increase your bag substantially, every penny, it's like, okay, I just made 20% more if I would have bought it at a price higher, a penny higher. So, oh man.
Well, Randy, I have felt this conversation to be very informative. You are a joy just to hang out with anyways.
Thank you.
So anytime you want to come back, feel free. Is there any last words that you want to share with the audience as far as the other? I know you have like 4 streams today or something like that. You're telling me
5. This is my second one, so I'm going all out.
Yeah. So tell us about it, where they can find you.
Just Randy Hilarski everywhere. You see it right here. That's except on YouTube, it's Randy Hilarski 1 because someone squatted on my name and took it. Tried to scam people with it, but at least I got this one, Randy Hilarski 1. But I'm everywhere with the same. Patreon is no permissions. Patreon.com, no permissions. If you're interested in the no permissions, it's just a wonderful community that we're building. And what I found surprising is that my group is much older than most of the Hex groups. My guys and gals are over 40. And I have a call with almost everybody. Some people are like, oh, Randy, I just want to support you. You don't have to do a call. I hear everything you say every day. I'm like, okay, great. I like that too. And we have a weekly strategy call every Thursday. Like this week will be noon, so our European friends can join us. And next week it'll be at nighttime, 8 p.m. So all of our friends in Australia can watch. So we do these strategy calls every week, and people come in with all kinds of questions and what should they do, how they move coins around, those kind of things. So I think that's the benefit. Education is what I'm good at. Creating content is my priority to help others. So come on over, find me, and obviously make sure you like the video and share it around.
That's awesome, Randy. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you guys in the chat for being so very active and fun with me today. Tomorrow, I will be here same time at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern with your boy B-Roots, Moon King.
B-Roots. Nice.
I gotta get somebody who's just,
gotta get the drama.
You gotta get it all, right? I need to hear all sides. So tune in for that tomorrow. Thank you guys again for joining me, and thank you again, Randy, for being here. We'll see you guys next time.
Cheers, everybody.